Hello and welcome to The Founder. I'm your host Tashi Sejal. Today I have with me Anjuli Caldera from the agency. How are you feeling today?
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. And tell me about how it all began, the agency.
How it all began?
Yeah.
Geez, so we're almost in our 5th year.
Yeah.
So 2020 will be our 5th year, so we're very excited. It actually began not even that I was inspired by something. It actually was a process of based on my experiences.
Okay.
When I moved back from college after a grueling law degree, I knew that I didn't want to do law, and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So I tried a lot of different things, and as I was doing that, I also learned loads. And what I realized was I learned how to identify what was missing in different markets.
Right.
And after lots of trial and error, I realized a big component that we need to focus on is human resources.
Okay.
And talent management, which is the birth of the agency.
The agency. So, coming to the name, we're taking it all the way back. How did the agency come about?
Okay, so I mean, to be honest,
Yeah.
it's because of the simplicity. It's also a little bit of a cheat code because if you go and you type the agency,
Right.
Sri Lanka, that
Okay.
is basically our name. The agency Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
So whatever you're looking for, I mean, sometimes we get calls all the time asking if we're a travel agency.
Right.
But the thing is, it pops right to the top, and it's great for social media.
Yeah.
It's great for Google. So I wanted to keep it as simple as possible so everyone remembers it.
Okay. So for people asking what the agency is, how would you answer that?
We are a talent management firm. Our focus is on up-and-coming talent.
Right.
Obviously, the love is for Sri Lankan talent
Right.
and put them on a global platform.
Okay.
And that's why our hashtag as well as our tagline is they focus on the next gen.
Right.
Yeah. So that's why if you look in our logo, there is the GN is in red.
The next, okay, yeah.
So
That's really smart.
Yeah, it's cool.
What's a marketing strategy that you rely on to this very day?
Okay, so our number one product is obviously people. So what we try to do constantly from a marketing point of view is to make it relatable and accessible for all.
Okay.
So like when people think about fashion, they think about glamour, and a lot of people are nervous to look at it or approach it and say, oh, that could be me.
Yeah.
So what we've started doing recently is we've launched the agency Sri Lanka workshop program.
Right, okay.
Which it's open to everybody.
Okay.
Anyone that's interested in the modeling industry or actually just the skill sets that are entailed within it.
Okay.
For example, we do a lot of things on like confidence building, public speaking, how to dress, what to say, how to wear, like to make a good conversation on like interviews, things like that.
Right.
So I think what we're doing is breaking down a lot of the barriers and like things that people feel kind of uncomfortable with when they think of like a model agency or the fashion industry.
Right. So what would you say is a challenge that you face?
The biggest challenge that we face actually to do with market mindset. When we started, there were no talent management firms. There were no proper like model agency firms that were like integrated.
Right.
And when we spent a lot of time trying to tell people what our purpose was and why it's necessary for people to have agents.
Right.
And like even within the industry itself, we're constantly telling people like go through an agency because we make your life easier. On the client side as well as on the talent side. So that was one of our biggest things.
Okay. Well, you've come a long way. And who is your number one support system?
Oh my gosh. Number one is friends and family. But I have to say I have the most amazing team.
Okay.
A team that has kind of been like evolving through the years. This is not a me project. This is an us project.
Right.
And I am only as strong, and our company is only as strong as all the pieces put together.
Right. So, you talk about your team. Do you remember what your initial team was like?
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Very teeny tiny.
Oh.
In a very small shoebox.
Okay.
But I mean, that's how
it all
startups
starts.
begin, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's, and even now, like I don't have a massive team.
Right.
I'm more like I like smaller teams,
Right.
because everyone kind of gets to know everything about the company, and there's not just like the accounts person saying, yeah, no, I can't go and meet a
Right.
client.
Right. You need everyone on the
And
same
you have to
page.
be versatile, which
Yeah.
is what I like.
Awesome. And do you remember what your first workspace was like?
Oh my gosh, yes. So like I said, like a shoebox.
A shoebox, right?
It was tiny. I mean, and we shared a space with another company. There was like 10 or 15 of us during event seasons. Like we're literally on top of each other. But it was fantastic. I mean, those are the kind of experiences and like being close up and personal in everyone's faces that actually teach you what it's all about.
Right, right. And Anjuli, have you ever had a moment in your career where you have had to make the hardest decision?
The hardest.
Yeah.
I mean,
what would that
of course.
decision be?
Actually, the hardest decision that I've had to make was to actually come forward and say that I'm going to be the face of this company.
Right.
That is not something that I would naturally want to be. I'm the queen of behind the scenes.
Okay.
Like being in the spotlight, like consistently, like being accountable to talk. That I mean, I love people. I'm
Right.
personable, but when it comes to like actually properly, formally doing it, I'm petrified.
You're petrified.
Pussy.
Okay, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it. I mean, everybody has their little thing, but at the same time, the agency, is it everything you've ever hoped for coming into the 5th year?
And more.
And more.
And it's gonna keep on changing, evolving, growing. I'm so excited. We actually, halfway through, we started, we have like a social media division, we have an events division, all within obviously fashion lifestyle.
Okay.
And actually our events division got so big, we've now broke off and made a whole separate company called
Right.
the Platform Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And we're just taking our first few projects on in
Okay,
December.
okay.
We are super excited. And it's going to help us streamline so that now it can break it into 2.
Okay.
And not everyone is jumping here, there, and everywhere.
Right. So tell me a little bit about your newest projects.
Okay, for the agency or the platform?
Okay, so let's start with the agency.
Okay, cool. So one of my like, personal little babies is that I've been working on our new website for the past year. It's very, very exciting. It's very dynamic, and we're actually launching it next week.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
it's been a huge labor of love and time and effort, of course, but we're very, very excited for the reveal.
Oh, wow.
And like I said, a few months ago we started the workshop project,
Right.
which we did 3 sessions already, and we've seen great traction in the market. So next year we're going to again expand that
Okay.
and build on it, and then hopefully have it on a per month basis.
Well, I wish all the very best of luck for you on that.
Thank you.
It sounds an exciting project.
Yeah.
And speaking of exciting, I mean, you are pretty much working with people and you get to meet new people and, see new talent as well coming in. So Anjuli, tell me what's the craziest thing that you've, seen at office?
I mean, I'm sure that is a work-related question, but there has been some crazy things in my office, like, for example, opening a wine bottle with a stiletto.
Right.
But that's a separate story, a separate category. However, the craziest thing that I've seen is actually to do with my team and the people that I've worked with through the years in forming this company. I've had some amazing people, and I still do, and it's like, for example, someone starts as an intern,
Okay.
and then ends up like running the whole talent management division.
Okay.
Division. And I find that, especially since, I mean, they're all super young.
Right.
Like, I can't even imagine me when I was 23 doing that.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, that's
so-
amazing. So you pretty much give everyone an opportunity as well at the same time.
Yeah, and because it's like a two-way street. By doing that, I get an opportunity too.
Right,
I get an
right.
opportunity to evolve, I get an opportunity to grow and to learn.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
learning. I can tell from everything that you've told me. And also, I want to ask, if you remember the initial stages of your startup, was financing rather difficult, or were banks any helpful to get you started up?
I mean, truth be told, I am so blessed and so thankful. My father supported me 100%. This would not have been possible without him. He's my #1 believer. thank God.
Yes.
And I mean, from banks have been great as well. I mean, they're open to new ideas, which is in this climate really necessary.
Okay.
And as we grow, I'm sure that we'll have to open a lot more doors financially.
Right. This question is actually from our venue sponsor, the Colombo Cooperative, providing modern workspaces and creative spaces for all companies of all sizes. They would like to know what your number one value in business and in life is.
Without a doubt, integrity.
Integrity, okay.
I mean, everything that I personally feel, everything that you do, you have to believe in it, and you also have to actually believe that the end product is basically something that you were personally proud of.
Right. And you're your own boss and you've come a long way in terms of success. What would you say is your definition of success?
My definition of success would be when I go home after doing said project or launching, I don't know, like something new, I have to go home and really, really sit down and say, wow, well done. I am happy with this. This is amazing. Like, I think it's a very personal thing.
Right.
It's the takeaway. It's not how much money we raised. It's not how many people like we reached on Instagram. I think what is important is the message that's sent out.
Right. And what gets you up in the morning?
Besides the gym, to be honest, it's my team.
It's your team.
Yeah, my God. I mean, like, we don't really have like a 9 to 5. We're not a 9 to 5. We're usually like a 10 to whatever. Our office has become kind of like, it's really like a home.
It
actually is a renovated house, but I mean, the only thing we actually don't do there is have a night's sleep. There are naps in between.
Naps in between. I think those are like acceptable. Yeah. Another thing that came to my mind is, everyone's just trying to start up their new thing and they want to be their own boss just like you. What kind of advice would you give them to go on with their career and their thought process and creating their own business?
Don't let anyone ever tell you can't do it.
Right.
I mean, for me, that was the number one thing. Like, especially doing something that hadn't been done here prior. We're getting a lot of flack because everyone just thought it was like, oh, this is so like plastic and cosmetic. And,
right.
Well, I mean, because we started as a model agency before
right.
we became a talent management firm. And it was just like, oh, like it's so fluff and things like that. I was like, you guys have no idea how much work is involved in doing this and actually being a model. And you have to be so tough. You have to be confident. There are days where you can't get out of bed because you got rejected last night or whatever. But like from what I'm seeing, I know especially the young people that I'm around with every day, they just amaze me. Like, so I think there have been days, I'm not gonna lie, when I came home, it's like, oh my God, is this right? Like, is this gonna work? And it's just like, if I don't believe it's gonna work, then
who
why?
will?
Like, who
exactly.
will? Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's the number one thing.
Yeah.
Don't let fear stop you.
Right, and the doubt.
Yeah,
Anjuli, is there a company or brand that you would like to take over?
Actually, I wouldn't like to take over any other company or brand. I am so excited about the joy of developing your own brand.
Right.
And having the flexibility of shaping it how you want. Like, the thing is, of course, like if you take over someone else's brand, you bring new things in, you evolve it, of course, but there's always like a framework and a blueprint in place. The joy that I get is putting that blueprint in place.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's my answer on that one.
So who would you look up to as an inspiration?
Professionally?
Yes.
To be honest, there's a mix of people for different reasons. Like, for example, like it's very cliche. Everyone will say if you're talking about business and startups, it's always going to be Steve Jobs.
Right.
I get that. The reason I'm more interested actually in what he did from an image perspective, because obviously that's my business. It's all about your image. He basically he made a brand which basically everybody wanted because of the way it looked like.
Right.
He turned the basic idea of a laptop or a computer on its head and said, you know what, it needs to look kind of nice.
Yeah.
Which essentially is why if you feel the need when you get a new like iPhone, you need the next up consistently.
Right.
You're ready, even if it's come in like a year, you need the next one.
Yeah.
Not because the phone doesn't work.
That's true.
It's because you want to keep up with the image.
Yeah.
I think that's fascinating, and for our industry, I think it's really, really inspiring. Then from another side of things, like my experience, a lot of it is in events.
Right.
I also look up to Anna Wintour a lot.
Okay.
I mean, of course, because she's like fashion guru or whatever, but it's also because what she did with the Met Gala as an event.
Okay.
Like doing something like that on the scale is insane. And basically the way she's actually broken it down and organized that event, it's like next level.
Yeah, yeah, I
So,
totally get it.
yeah.
Like the Met Gala. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's exciting.
It's not an easy thing to stand up. But
Yeah. Anything? Okay, so if it wasn't for the agency, what would you have been doing today?
Oh. As in general, probably getting at least 8 hours of sleep.
Right.
But no, I think I would obviously be doing the rat race that everybody else does behind like the 9 to 5 door and a corporate structure, which also is really important. It's the foundation for everything. But I think I would be actually traveling a lot more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And getting more experience across the board to bring
Okay.
back home.
Yeah, that's true. What's something that you're hoping for the agency, maybe in the next 5 years?
It's a global game.
Okay.
My goal, which has always been my goal, is to highlight our local talent internationally, is to meet as many people as I can from an agency perspective worldwide and start the exchange of talent.
Right.
Bringing people here, sending people out, giving enough resources to be able to compete in a global arena.
Well, I hope that goal is not too far behind, and I wish you all the very best of luck for everything.
Thank you so much.
So thank you so much for talking to us today. And
My pleasure.
Yeah, and with that being said, it is time for me to go, and also you can catch me next time on The Founder. It's me, Tasha Sejal, so see you next time.